The Amazon River Lecture. Here we have all the locational, regional, and global maps of the Amazon River. The location of the Amazon River. The Amazon River, located in South America, is the second largest river in the world. It flows through Guyana, Ecuador, Venezuela, Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, and Peru. The length of the Amazon River. It has a distance about 4,000 miles, or about 6,400 kilometers. The size of the Amazon catchment, approximately 7 million square kilometers in the north-central part of South America. The number of tributaries. The Amazon River has 15,000 tributaries. Not all of the Amazon's tributaries flood at the same time of the year. Many branches begin flooding in November and may continue to rise until June. The rise of the Rio Negro starts in February or March and begins to recede in June. How and during what time of the year the river is replenished. The Amazon River isn't needed to be replenished much, but they perform a vital part in the rainforest's ecosystem by trimming the plants, which encourages fresh growth, and crushing the leaves to replenish the soil. Here is the regional map, and here is the global map. Next we have the feature, which I have chosen to be the Amazon River Basin. The Amazon River Basin is about 4,195 miles long, covering about 2,720,000 square miles in area, including its 15,000 tributaries and sub-tributaries, 4 of which are in excess of 1,000 miles long. It is the largest river basin in the world. The explanation of the formation. The Amazon Basin is the part of South America drained by the Amazon River and its tributaries. The Amazon drainage basin is located The Amazon drainage basin covers an area of about 6,915,000 square kilometers, or roughly 40% of the South American continent. It is located in the countries of Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Guyana, Peru, Suriname, and Venezuela. Here's a picture of the beautiful basin. Next up we have the users of the river. Since the later decades of the 20th century, the Amazon basin has attracted international attention because human activities have increasingly threatened the equilibrium of the forest's highly complex ecology. Deforestation has accelerated, especially south of the Amazon River and on the Piedmont outwash of the Andes, as new highways and air transport facilities have opened the basin to a tidal wave of settlers, corporations, and researchers. The Amazon River is used for fishing, native goods, people transportation, and a water source. Also, it attracts tourists and rainforest animals that may be hunted on the river's edge. Well, not the tourists. Tourists go to the river for sightseeing and vacations. The Amazon River is named the transportation corridor of the world and is used as a major trade route through many countries in South America. Local people love to use it for drinking, bathing, swimming, and laundry. Two challenges in water resources management stand out for their enormous social impacts. 1. Unreliable access to water with a strong adverse impact on the living and health standards of the rural populations in the northeast, where 2 million households, most in extreme poverty, live. And 2. Water pollution in and near large urban centres, which compromises poor populations' health, creates an environmental damage, and increases the cost of water treatment for downstream users. Here are some photos of the users of the Amazon River, such as fishing, whitewater rafting, and ship tours. Next coming up is the management of the Amazon River. The objective of the project is to strengthen in a coordinated and cohort manner the institutional framework for planning and executing activities for the protection and sustainable management of the water resources of the Amazon River Basin, endeavouring to realise a shared vision of sustainable development in the region based upon the protection and integrated management of transboundary water resources and adaptation to climatic changes. Specific objectives to this end. The basin countries have agreed to make progress toward the integrated management of water resources and adaptation to climatic variation and change through more effective decision-making by the relevant national institutions based upon the forecast impacts of climatic variations and changes on water resources. 2. To generate more knowledge about the types and sources of water pollution in the basin, monitor them and attack their root causes. 3. Generate more knowledge about the effects of droughts, monitor them and mitigate extreme events in vulnerable regions. And 4. Make progress toward legal harmonization and development of economic instruments, technical and institutional capacity, and public participation in the management of water resources in the basin. Here are some photos of management being taken place in the Amazon River. Next we have conflicts over the use of the river. The destruction of the environment impacts on indigenous communities that threatens their human rights to property and a healthy environment. One of the most important examples of environmental destruction and the violation of human rights is the case of the Yanomami people in the Amazon. Since the 1970s, the physical and cultural survival of the Yanomami people has been threatened by gold mining, deforestation, and disease. This case study examines the way in which the destruction of the Yanomami communities in the Amazon constitutes a serious human rights violation and a grave environmental crisis. Today there are approximately 26,000 Yanomami people living along the Brazilian border in the fertile lands of the Orinoco and Amazon rivers. The fertile and mineral-rich territories of the Yanomami people have been exploited for gold mining, timber production. The main issue at hand is the destruction of Yanomami inhabited territories by miners and loggers. This unlawful invasion has been assisted by lax governmental policies that favour economic interests over the rights of Indigenous people to their land and a healthy environment. While the main example of habitat loss is deforestation, among other environmental consequences are water pollution in the river, air pollution, and global warming. The major groups involved in this situation is the Indigenous and gold miners. And the way I would try and solve this conflict would be to stop the miners mining around the Indigenous area and for both the miners and Indigenous people to discuss the way they can change how things are so they can both live happily. And it's also an illegal situation, so it should be controlled majorly by the Amazon government, the Brazilian government. Now moving on to sustainability. The human impact towards the Amazon is quite major. The expansion and intensification of agriculture, logging, and urban development are beginning to stress the natural integrity of the Amazon's ecosystem. Arguably the largest and most important terrestrial ecosystem on the planet, generating 20% of the world's oxygen and also around 20% of its freshwater discharge. Thank you for listening to my conflict about the Amazon River.